Hallmark is set to make fans happy with its upcoming list of new movies to binge watch. Hey guys, welcome back. It's Gabby with Binge Now. Today we're going to cover a few new Hallmark movies fans are excited about. So what are we waiting for? Let's get started. Today we're starting off with Where Your Heart Belongs. Starring Jen Lilly, Christopher Russell, in a family romance, this movie revolves around a New York-based marketing executive and her struggles to keep her high-profile clients that are migrating to an upcoming influencer.
Goldmine is simply the best.
Jasmine? What, they're going with this self-proclaimed branding selfie thing?
Seems to be the trend these days.
When her best friend Olivia announces she's moving up her wedding day and now plans to get married in just 2 weeks, she asks Mackenzie to go back with her to their small rural hometown to help with the preparation. Only glitch is, she'll be working side by side with Olivia's cousin, whom she once dated.
Not exactly. I, recruited my cousin to help you. Your cousin? Dylan, you know, who works for your dad? Yeah, right. I remember. I know who Dylan is. Thank you very much.
While there, she learns the hard way that love and support of family and true friends mean more than what she ever imagined.
He's currently single. Don't tell me that. Well, you told me not to talk about him. Right, yeah, totally.
Well, meeting your ex after a long break can actually be quite confusing.
Didn't recognize you. You got taller.
Thanks, I guess.
The wedding planning takes its course with all the incidences following. And how Dylan starts feeling for her again and wants her to stay back to make her realize that what friends and family matter after all.
I move on, because that's what history taught me is the safest thing to do.
What about happiness? Shouldn't that work into the equation?
So last but not the least, even after things going haywire, Matt gets the wedding planning sorted to the best.
Hey, Tim. Size 12 and a size 6.
I don't know my shoe size.
You haven't changed as much as you think you have.
Next up, we have North to Home. Hallmark is just churning out more and more movies with an all-star ensemble cast. With the exception of Christmas for Keeps, the network's recent attempts at ensemble cast-driven movies have been surprisingly successful.
Well, all it takes is practice. Posey here used to want nothing to do with baking, and she's turning into a real pro.
A drama casting Lindsay Fonseca, Kimberly Sustad, Erica Durance, North to Home is a story of a family reunion. Suzanne McBride is excited to spend her birthday with her family. It will be the first time that her 3 adopted daughters will be together in years.
Hey sis, welcome home!
This seems like a great time for a family reunion, but the sisters are wrestling with unique challenges that threaten to derail this special occasion.
We don't talk about it because we are protecting Mom.
Workaholic Hannah is hiding a life-changing secret.
Is Dr. Vogel in?
Who's calling, please?
Hannah McBride calling?
His line's busy. Would you like his voicemail?
No, just if you could have him give me a ring back, that would be great, as soon as possible.
Beth, a stay-at-home mom, is in the midst of a personal crisis after getting a once-in-a-lifetime offer to go back to work.
Did you ever think about getting back to work?
Wait, are you offering me a job?
The youngest, Posey, is feeling pressure from her parents to take over the family restaurant. She feels a sense of obligation, but her heart is drawn to a life as a mountain climber, and the fact she's falling for a handsome new neighbor is only adding to her stress.
Yeah, well, after we retire and you're running the cafe, you can do the invoices however you want.
Under the weight of these issues and some hidden resentments, Suzanne's dreams of the perfect birthday soon unravel. But will the McBride sisters' bond be strong enough to survive this time together?
Having you girls together is all she's been talking about for months.
Oh, don't I know it.
This movie will take you on a ride where you two will experience the different emotions that bind relationships. So who's ready to take the test?
The McBride sisters, together again. What can I get you ladies?
White wine, please.
Bring the bottle.
I'll just have water, thanks.
Coming right up.
Up next, we have Feeling Butterflies. This movie is like a butterfly. Beautiful, slow, quiet, sweet, and cute. Unfortunately, it's also missing the it factor. We're talking about the thing that draws you in and keeps you interested. Sure, you'll probably enjoy it, but it isn't a top 50 movie in our hands. So hold your expectations.
The order's coming.
We're all set. Just a matter of logistics now. I think we're actually gonna pull this off.
Eat your heart out, Mandy Fisher.
Director Marita Grabiak features in her rom-com a blooming butterfly business of Emily. She provides butterflies for events like parties and weddings. She's offered the opportunity to compete against rival Mandy for a high-profile wedding where the bridezilla wants 500 plus butterflies released.
So, how many butterflies can I expect?
At least 500 guaranteed.
I can get you 600.
I can get you 1,000.
That's impossible, and you know it.
Emily meets Garrett and his daughter, Amanda, at her birthday party, and they hit it off. Garrett and Amanda offer their services to help Emily with the party.
That's okay. How can we help?
Well, looks like the birthday boy's mom has the decorations set up, so we just need the show and tell and the butterflies.
So one job that Emily does manage to keep is the birthday party for adolescent Amanda.
Mandy Fisher. I booked that party too, and she swooped in and undercut me again.
With Amanda being a budding butterfly enthusiast, her widowed father, Garrett, asks Emily for a tour of her butterfly farm for them, thus beginning a friendship between the three.
And they're really pretty.
They are really pretty, aren't they?
You're really pretty. My dad thinks so. I heard him talking to his friend on the phone.
Amanda.
When socialite Rebecca O'Keefe opens up the bidding between Emily and her competitor Mandy to supply butterflies for her upcoming wedding, this time the price is not the issue, but the number of butterflies to be released is. So how will Emily go about the situation, and will she get the contract? By the end of this movie, you will surely be feeling butterflies. Up next, we have A Second Chance at Love. This film centers around Alicia and Arnold's picture-perfect marriage, but underneath the surface, something is amiss. Arnold is ready to grow their family, but Alicia is hesitant to the idea. Rather than facing the problem head-on, Alicia, the self-proclaimed love doctor, immerses herself in her divorced parents, Jack and Brenda's dating affairs by setting them up on a blind dating app.
Brings back the concept of courting. Parties involved are truly able to communicate, taking the time to create a bond while discovering the other person both mentally and emotionally.
The film will be a delight for fans as it reunites two stars who previously worked together on ER, with Ruben and LaSalle both appearing on the series throughout. It will also reacquaint them with August, who has previously starred in the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries films Delivered by Christmas, as well as Hallmark Channel's Love and Design.
I mean, it's funny how our daughter unknowingly found a way to get us back together.
No, we're not back together, and she can't know about this, okay?
However, while Alicia needs to pay attention and focus on her own relationship, she shifts gears and looks elsewhere.
But we're meeting up for a walk in the park, so we'll see.
You know, that would actually be nice for us to do sometime.
I know.
Will Alicia's efforts bring new romance to her parents and help her figure out what she really wants from her own marriage? This movie is exactly what the title says. It is everything about finding love again.
This last week has been great fun. Let's just call it what it is. It's a fling.
A fling? I wouldn't say that.
Now moving on to one of our favorites, A Tale of Love. Hallmark produces the best romantic movies of all time. Every movie has a different concept, but every one of them focus on how love is important in our life. The new Hallmark movie, A Tale of Love, is all about love, kindness, and puppies.
And you like hanging out with her?
She's okay. We understand each other.
Just don't get too attached, okay? You're leaving in a month. Then what?
I won't get attached, I promise.
The movie revolves around Bella, played by Brittany Bristow, and her grandmother Lily, played by Jane Eastwood, operating a dog rescue which was established by her late grandfather as a passion project. The rescue's future is endangered when they hear they will lose money from its primary sponsor, Stockyard Pet Food, a dog food company that is being sold after the owner's death.
I'm so sorry to disappoint you, but your shelter and the house are on Stockard property. I'm sure your grandmother must be aware of this, and as soon as I get possession, I'm gonna have to get you to move.
The late owner's son, JR, played by McNally, is a soldier on leave who is handling the selling arrangements.
Do you work here?
No, I don't. It was my parents' company.
Oh, so you're J.R. Stockard of Stockard Pet Foods.
Yes, I am.
JR instantly interacts with Indy, a former military dog, while visiting the rescue and continues to visit to spend time with his new four-legged mate. When Bella learns that the rescue's property is also being sold, she asks JR for assistance in locating the lost document certifying her grandparents' purchase of the farm many, many years ago.
Well, what would be really great is if we can get some more sponsorships. And I'm really hoping that JR can convince Rachel to give us 6 months more. Let's hope.
JR was also taken aback since he had assumed that just Stockyard Pet Food was sold, but the rescue facility was also at risk of being demolished. Bella and JR get closer and begin to fall in love, but JR's impending return to active service might put an end to their growing romance.
I saw that. As soon as I walked in the door, I knew you were a dog cookie stealer.
Guilty. They're delicious. Bye. Bye, Andy.
Bella and JR's initial encounter in the movie was not very pleasant, but when Bella realized that JR might be able to help her, she asked him if they could begin again.
Even despite the current situation.
It's a minor setback. I'll sort it out. I owe it to my Nana.
Not to mention the part where our adorable dog Indy plays an important role in Bella and JR's journey.
Great.
I'll come by and pick her up later.
Sounds good. Indy, let's go.
Bye, Indy.
Bye.
JR, who is supposed to return to his military duty, grows closer to Indy, and that becomes a concern for Bella, as JR's departure will hurt Indy. Not just Indy, but Bella too gets upset and realizes that she has fallen for JR. You better watch this movie to find out what happens between JR and Bella. It's definitely worth it.
They're lucky to have someone like you.
That's why keeping the shelter open is so important. Closing it's not an option. I'm gonna do whatever I have to keep it open.
Then finishing off the list, we have A Royal Runaway Romance. Starring Philippa Northeast, Brant Daugherty, the story revolves around a rom-com of a princess who is on a love hunt for the perfect man.
It's been an honor painting.
I've loved every move.
Just as Princess Amelia, played by Philippa Northeast, is preparing to take over as queen once her mother Ava, played by Sarah Jane Redmond, steps down in a year, she finds herself falling for Wes, played by Andre Anthony, the American artist commissioned to paint her royal portrait.
I'm so glad we captured this moment in time. You, in between being a young woman and the future queen.
The queen makes it clear that she doesn't think Wes is the right match for Amelia.
You must realize it could never work.
So when the artist returns home to Chicago, Amelia devises another reason to travel to the States.
I like you for you, Wes. And I'd love to go to all the places we talked about.
So come visit me in the States.
I would love to.
Complicating matters further, her mother insists on traveling with her and confiscates her passport, making it a quick flight to Chicago impossible. And perhaps the biggest hurdle is when Amelia learns that Grady Beck, played by Brant Daugherty, Andreas's trusted bodyguard, is now assigned to stay with her at all times. Not easily deterred from her plans to see Wes, Amelia decides to borrow Grady's car to drive to Chicago.
I left something that I was going to get inside.
Watch out for that.
Thank you.
When the handsome bodyguard catches on to her plan and tells her uncle, Andreas agrees to help Amelia on one condition: Grady must go with her.
You're gonna drive across America, you better do it in a Mustang. Expense anything you need. Give my niece a little freedom. She's been waiting her whole life for it after all.
Heading out with Grady in Andreas's classic convertible, America-obsessed Amelia gets the cross-country trip she'd always dreamed of, and perhaps her last chance to be free before assuming the responsibilities of being queen. Along the way, Amelia and Grady open up to each other and find that they have more in common and more fun together than either expected. With every state line they cross, each will learn that in road trips and romance, the destination is less important than the journey and the person you share it with.
This is really sweet, by the way. What you're doing for me. For what it's worth, at least you know what love is. To me, that sounds like a risk worth taking.
Philippa Northeast is lovely and delightful as Princess Amelia, while Brant Daugherty is the voice of reason as Grady Beck. Daugherty does subtle acting work quite well in a controlled manner, and both actors have tremendous chemistry together.
If we had time, there are places in America I would love to show you.
Maybe I could just keep on driving.
With that, sadly, we've come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching, and which Hallmark new movie release are you most excited about? Please let us know in the comments below. Also, do show your love to the channel by giving us a like and share, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel and check out our merch. Thanks for watching. Until next time.